Now, ActionSA in the Free State has laid criminal complaints against a number of parties related to the Jagersfontein mine dam. These include the Mineral Resources Department, Kopanong Municipality and Jagersfontein Developments. Well, for more on this and why they are doing so, let's speak to the party's chairperson in the Free State, Patricia Kopane. Ms. Kopane, good afternoon. Welcome to today. Thank you very much for your time. Why have you decided to lay criminal charges against the DMRE, the Kopanong Municipality and Jagersfontein Development?
Thank you so much, Dr. Dan, this afternoon for giving us this opportunity to respond on this matter. As you know, on the 11th of September, we had this tragedy of the dam wall that collapsed. Unfortunately, this morning again, or even since yesterday, the people of Jagersfontein start complaining again. There's water that is leaking from the dam again. So the dam is busy collapsing on the other side. And this morning I woke up and rushed to the scene. I've even went to go and open the criminal charges because before doing so, I wanted to see exactly what is happening. Unfortunately, I realized that the situation is in Jagersfontein is happening because it was the negligence of the mine itself to maintain the mine. Now, I also understand that the Department of Minerals, Resources and Energy, they never provided the license to the mine to operate. In other words, there was never any license for operation. That mine, they operated as they wish, and the community of that area, even the employees, they went to the mine to explain, to see. We could see that the mine is busy, the dam of the mine is busy cracking, the water is leaking, but nobody listened to them. As a result, on the 11th, that's when we wake up with the disaster. But you know what is sad part? After the disaster happened, that area was never declared as a disaster area. With you, it is only the missing. There are about 2 people that are still missing, only one that was buried last week. But unfortunately, 103 people, they are still, they're still staying there. They're stranded. Their house has been swept away. They've lost everything. They are on their own. Others are staying with the family. Government doesn't do anything.
Okay.
And the sad part of the story.
Yeah, sorry. Have you laid the charges already?
Yes, I did lay the charge at the police station in Jagersfontein with a warrant officer, Van Veek. And luckily, he was on the ground. They are busy searching for those 2 people who are missing. And the sad part is the information from government, even from the municipality and the mine. Those families that are still looking for their loved ones, nobody's even giving them, the support or to tell them how far are they in the progress, are they still looking for people. Nobody's doing anything. And there is no psychological support. There's still no electricity even after the premier was there. There's still no water in that area. The people of Jagersfontein, especially the Charlesville, and where the area has been flooded, they're still even inhaling the chemicals that come from the area, which means now they are the one now suffering. And government is not doing anything. There's not even an alternative accommodation where they can be placed. Because if you check the Bill of Rights, people are entitled to have a place to stay. There must be a shelter, the right for her life, but nobody's protecting them. The school is being disrupted. Children's, they're also being failed because now they can't even go to school. Some of them, they're still loitering around. Those are the problem. But the sad part about this matter, you must remember this mine that then it's one of the mines that in the history of our world, it was mentioned in so many books. It is even listed with the London Stock Exchange. But nothing is happening. The people of Jagersfontein never benefited from the mine. But we know the owners of the mine is a subsidiary from the Dubai-based multinational corporation.
Okay. So what charges have you led? You mentioned a word earlier where you say you believe there was negligence involved in terms of that. And now you're also telling us about you were there today and you saw that people are still not being assisted properly. So specifically with the charges, can we just zoom in on the charges? What criminal charges have you as ActionSA Free State laid against the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy, Kopanong Municipality and Jagersfontein Development?
Thank you, Ntateden, for the question. If you remember very well, the Department of Mineral and Resources and Energy, they are the one who's supposed to be tasked to monitor or the enforcement and the compliance with the environment to see that the mine is operating within that legal framework. And secondly, the National Department of Water and Regulations, they are supposed also to see whether the mine is complying. The Mineral and Petroleum Act of 29, that is of 2007, it's also one of the acts that's supposed to see that the mine is operating within what it's supposed to do. But you can see that this mine never had the license. Even the Department of Sanitation, they're supposed to look that mine is operating correctly. Most importantly, Mine and Health and Safety Act, that is the one that you're supposed to make sure that those who are working in the mine, people around the mine, they are safe, but this never happened because these people, they've been operating on themselves, which means then both the department that I've mentioned or the entity, they just, turn their head away.
Okay.
They never wanted to hold them accountable.
Okay.
Now, ActionSA, we want to make sure that the company and the official in those departments that I've just mentioned, they should be held accountable to the disaster of what is happening now. And it is so sad because now currently I'm speaking with you, there is no psychological support to the residents that have found themselves being stranded. There is no alternative accommodation. They're still stuck in the same places. There is not even a plan for to be relocated somewhere else. They're still in the same situation.
Yeah, thanks, Ms. Patricia Kopane. You've articulated that a little bit earlier. Thank you for laying out what kind of charges you've laid today against these entities there in the Jagersfontein matter. We'll keep track of that. That's the provincial chairperson of ActionSA in the Free State province, Ms. Patricia Kopane. She has laid, or ActionSA rather, has laid charges against the Department of Energy, Mineral Resources and Energy, against the owners of that mine with the collapse, and against the Kopanong Municipality.